Carbon fibers, there have been attempts to build over long periods, especially the high modulus and high strength, but it's not still successful. But these are coming still from outside and are hugely imported with a lot of constraints. I think this is also must be understood, especially for this sector like space. There are dual uses and there are a lot of constraints coming, especially on imports, because there are only limited sources. And looking at products, we make huge number of products in composites, like the hardwares which are depicted here. Some of them are very huge, though the photo looks very small. They are 4 meter, 5 meter diameter. Some of them are 10 meter tall structures which are built in industry today. And many of them have come up forward to create the assembly lines for it. And we are able to build it for both rockets as well as satellites, antenna systems and structures, and very complex structures like camera structures, which are zero thermal coefficient expansion, which are very stable structures which are required for optics systems. And here I saw some of the pictures of the hardwares which are regularly flying in rockets. They are big hardwares, very complex hardwares, and really costly ones to build. And all the raw materials, the composites, still 100% imported. But the manufacturing of it takes place in India, and the whole manufacturing tooling and all of that we are capable of building it in India. And the one on the right side, you will see the launch of some 36 satellites we did recently for one foreign customer called OneWeb. And the whole of this structure, all of this was built in India and launched for a commercial customer. It's something that we must all be very proud of. Similarly, you can see products like the fiber-borne composite products like the motor cases on the corner here, corner there, the Kevlar motor cases, the Aramids fiber based motor cases, one of the best in the world in terms of the structural mass and pressure capability. High pressure cases, as we mentioned about the hydrogen gas. Similarly, the carbon nozzle divergence on the right side. Recently we tested a carbon-carbon nozzle divergent which is almost a meter in diameter successfully, which withstands very high temperatures. And we have been regularly making ablative composites for rockets, which are done in-house. Even today, we have been discussing with industries to take on this and build it in India, not even successful. So though some of them have capability, but not willing to invest to create this capability because of the risks involved, the rejections and the capital intensive nature of this, it still continue to be done in-house. It's one of the critical choking part for us to increase the throughput of rockets building in India. Similarly, on satellites, we have very complex structures like this, the camera structures, the antennas, the thermal goods of various nature are built and manufactured and supplied by industries. These are, some of them are done in-house, but many of them were able to be converted to an industrial production, and some industries have come up very well to build and make it as per the space quality requirements. I also saw so many of the composite hardwares, including the one which you see at the middle, the Chandrayaan lander. It's all composites really, and the structure, the landing legs, and many of the parts of this are made using composites. But then I only showcase these parts just for your understanding of the structure and nature of the complexity. Over the years, this transition from metal to composites has been taking place in the rocket building. And this is just not in space alone, it's happening in many other sectors of aerospace, the defense sector, the aircraft manufacturing. I think many of the transport aircrafts which you are traveling, the composite usage is really very, very high, similar to what you see here. And these are some of the ablatives and high temperature hardwares. Some of the hardwares there must be as tall as 2 people, something like 5 meter tall hardware on the right side, the corner. It's all composites, just with a very little bit of metal. We need to have this part basically to make a rocket fly, and they all work with extremely high temperatures like 2000, 3000 Kelvin. And the manufacturing of this is extremely complex, and very skilled people are required to manufacture it. But there are a lot of possibilities in this. For example, the nozzles which are still 2D carbon, the carbon-carbon thrusters, they are still under development, and many of this technical complex work, some industries have taken interest to come forward and invest and create. But the problems here are primarily coming out of the infrastructure requirement, especially the furnaces and many other equipments which are required for manufacturing are still extremely costly, and they need to be imported, some of them, and some of them are still being built in India. So I would like to conclude saying that there is a huge amount of requirement. Of course, one machine I am just showing is a fiber placement machine. It's a fully five-axis fiber placement machine to make very complex hardwares, something like 10-meter size hardwares, which we just acquired from one European country for producing our product. Why I showed this is such a complex machine of handling fiber composites. It's not designed in India. So we need to look at how we manufacture machineries of fiber based products manufacturing in large quantity, automation. Similarly, the tooling and other requirements for ablatives and other composites manufacturing. But even all of that, the primary issue which is continuing to be remaining the same, the ability to manufacture fibers of high strength and high modulus, which are suitable for aerospace. The class like T300 itself, that we have a difficulty in manufacturing in quantity. But we were successful in making glass and other medium class fibers. But then we still continue to report on import. So this is where the challenge is. The market demand for it is currently low, but then there is a tendency that, as seen today, discussed today, the projection is very high. So looking at the demand, how do we really support these industries to come up and create such facilities? It may not be possible for organization like ISRO to invest and create manufacturing of fibers, but it has to happen in industry, because we need to look at the global market. Just not an Indian market may not be enough to thrive on it. So, and again, finally on the tooling and machinery, also we need to invest and support industries to enhance this potential in India. So I would like to conclude saying that in the aerospace sector there is a huge demand. Our ability to use composites in a big manner is only limited by the availability and capability in India. Otherwise, our aerospace sector will really become much better in terms of its efficiency, ability, product throughput, etc. So even our rocket launches, if it has to happen every month, 2-3, then definitely without the support that we need to do from this technical textiles and composites, it's really not going to happen. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and want to say that this such a bringing together of people in such conferences really give little more fillip and finally lead to a very concrete action at a later point in time. Thank you once again.